Okay, my name is Marjorie Miranda, and I went to a session in Denver that was called Typos, Errors, and Mistakes, oh my, by Susie Van Steenbergen. She was an advisor for a school for a high school in San Diego, and this was for tips that she showed us in her introduction. Okay, she showed us why we should have an error-free publication so we can get credibility and an audience likes to read a newspaper that doesn't have any errors, and pride. So there's nothing better than putting together a final product that looks great. So she showed us 3 P's for publication, which mean a prevention mindset, everything has a purpose and a clear process. And she showed us that for copy editors, like, we shouldn't put copy editor as an option in the job application, because it's better to have no copy editor than one who does not enjoy doing it. So step 1 is get organized, and this is where she showed us like where each story should have to go. So our first draft would have to go to the first draft has to be like corrected and edited by the reporter and section editor, and sometimes the editor-in-chief and advisor. The final draft has to be seen by the reporter, section editor, and editor-in-chief, and copy editor, and sometimes the advisor. The printed page layout should be the section editor, editor-in-chief, copy editor, and advisor. And she taught us. She uses Trello in her journalism class. She showed us a bit how to use it, and that's how I got interested in it. So this is her sample board where she lists things, and the things that she uses is the interview, and she always tells us that every time you have an interview, you should always type it up right after that, so we can see the accuracy in that interview, and if you're using the right quotes instead of paraphrasing it.
So that's something we don't do now, and we might want to add, is typing up your interviews. So if you don't pick the right quotes or the best quotes, your editors can help you recognize what you learn, what is the best quote from your interview.
This is some of the sample list that she showed us. All stories are listed in a quick preview mode. Each story is a card on the list, and each list represents one stop in the editing process. So in Trello, the story card section editors can create a story card for each story in their section. Each story card includes story title, topic, story description, due date, assigned writers, editors, color-coded labels, when print, etc., an activity feed, and checklist. In Trello, you can comment, records activity on the card, and you can even tag people in it. There's also a checklist in Trello where you can see if you've done everything like throughout the process, and if an editor sees that you checked something and they feel like you didn't do it, then they can uncheck it themselves. You can attach Google directly from your Google Drive. You can add photos, videos, and audio. Oh, and anyone can subscribe to a story, which means, like, let's just say the opinion editor can subscribe to a story, and they can like keep up if has it been edited, has it we should always use Google Drive instead of Microsoft Word, because I know some of us still use Microsoft. but we should always keep Google Drive because we're more organized, I think. Oh, so she has labels for her documents, which are clear. Like some of them say the issue, and then if it's going to be in print or web, and then what section, and then the name of the story, and then FC is like the final copy editor, FE is like final editor and stuff like that. So some of the labels that we can use, so the format would be issue dot print slash web dot title status, and then the status labels would be DR for draft reporter, FR final reporter, FE final section editor, FEIC final editor chief, FCE final copy editor, FV, or in this case like FF for Miss Ferguson, and then the place label means that story is already in InDesign, and then DNU would be do not use.
So we'll have to talk about if we want to use that system. We might, I think that's an interesting idea that you change the title after the copy editor has seen it, so we can tell just by looking at the title if it's been seen by the copy editor or the steps, where it is in the process. So section editors especially should be trying to understand how to use this well to improve our systems. So everybody at this table, we're going to have to make some decisions about it. Okay, keep going.
Step 2 would be write and edit. So she said do not indent any story because in InDesign it's really indented for you in paragraph style. And I just learned this over there too. Apparently people still double space after the period, which I found it really weird. But she said do not double space after the period, just one space.
So she likes a space between paragraphs, though.
Yeah.
Okay, space. That, I think she's talking about what flows best into InDesign. So all writers take a look at that previous screen. Space between paragraphs, no indents for paragraphs.
So we've already been using like the new gadgets in Google Drive. So one suggestion would be suggesting mode, where you can comment and forces ready to review each change, and it's good for like the early drafts. Editing mode, we've used this one a lot. Oh, and she also says that she recommends using comments, and by a comment she means that every not just this where the story belongs, the editor shouldn't be the only one that reads it. The other editors should read it as well, so you can like make sense and stuff. So once comments are resolved, they don't disappear, they're still there for you to like check in, bother you to like at least see if it's well. Section editors can double check reporters' work, and then editor-in-chief can check section editor's work, and the writer can look for red flags. So viewing mode, you can just, when you put it in viewing mode, all the comments, all the suggestions, editing is gone. So you can just have like a plain, fresh page to just look at it to see if it's right. And this is where she told us to use the interview typo. So you would have your story in one page, and under the story you would have your interview, and she makes her kids turn this in, because in every story she has to have like at least like 5 quotes that she prefers to use. And you can see the revision history in Google Drive. You can see all the edits and the marks and if they've changed it or not. Oh, each time a different contributor edits the draft, it's saved in the revision history. Prep for print. Step 3, prep for print. again, you can use, you always have to use the, I think it would be easier if we put placed in all our documents in Google Drive, just to like not get mixed up when we're putting it in InDesign. Oh, she showed us something in InDesign, what's called Edit in Story Editor. So like instead of like editing right in the issue, like right on the box thing, you can take this up and it's easier to read, easier for us to edit, and shows paragraph styles. You can just simply do that. So this is a fine change feature. It's like some people, if a word is not good, if it's like mistaken or something like that, you can like look it up and change it from there instead of going to the text directly. It's great for common misspelling or common errors. So you would type up find what, like the name, let's just say Brian, and in this case you accidentally put Brian with a Y, and then you would change that to Brian with an I. So it finds it directly and changes it to you, for you. But you,
So you can change multiple times up with one button.
With one button, yeah. So instead of like the hyphen, instead of doing it twice, there's one symbol that just goes straight, so you won't see that line in the issue. And obviously, you have the spelling check. I don't know if we do that, but yeah. I guess you should check the whole document. Oh yeah, check the whole document instead of just one story. You can just check the thing. Finally, she uses checklists for her class, and they just check off the things, and I guess that's part of their grade as well, doing a checklist. Do after all design work is done and all pages are migrated into the master file. She always, for the PDF, she told us to always, for edits, it's easier if you just put the file in PDF, so you can just read it off there and go back to InDesign and